Thanks for buying my face disc. This is completely different makeup, else I wouldn't go to the trouble to do it. God knows we have enough makeups out there. I had to invent this when I went back to modeling at 46 because everything else made me look much older than I was and gaudy and awful. It's made for young girls, that's why. Right now, as you can see, I'm not wearing any makeup, and you'll see the extraordinary difference after I start putting it on so you can learn step by step. Each step has a trick that I had to figure out after I went back to modeling at 46 because my face has moved around. It's going to simplify your life, and it'll get you out the door confident and looking your best in less than 10 minutes. You're going to love it. Everything for your face is in this disc if you don't wear foundation, which I don't. But if you do, we have the best foundations you can get in 4 colors. Now, I've rainbow color coded all the products in the kit, rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, to match the brushes. We spent a lot of time to find the best brushes you could get. Take the lip balm, which is the only thing that doesn't have a color, the only pan that doesn't have a color around it, has a little silver color, and you take that with your finger, you apply a generous amount, and it's wonderful things like cocoa butter, all kinds of things are good for your lip. You put a good amount on, and you leave it there to soak in. Spot concealer. It's a totally opaque formula that I got from a German dry queen. It was made to cover wine spots. Once you put it on, you won't see through it. It's what I use instead of foundation. But a lot of people will have to use foundation. If you don't have my brush, get something similar, like this. Okay. You hold the palette up to your face to see which spots are the closest, which colors are the closest to your spots. And to make a perfect match, you mix the colors that look closest to your spots on the thumb, well, right on the side of your thumb. Now, if you use foundation, you put the foundation on after the moisturizer, before the spots, and then put the spotter on after your foundation, directly on the spot. Now, when you're putting on the spotter, don't make the mistake of, when you put it on the spot, don't make the mistake of smearing it off the little tiny spot you put it on. Make sure you press it right in, pat it right into the spot itself. Don't move it. Okay. After you do the spots, you set them, fix them with loose powder, and you do it just in that little spot. Third step is the orange light concealer. Use the orange brush. If you didn't get the brushes, get the closest brush you've got to this on the orange ringed light concealer pan. This is really magic stuff. It's a transparent concealer, something that almost doesn't exist. That means it has no filler, and no filler means you still see your skin through it. It just leaves light on the shadow. So, look in and see where the shadows are in your face. See, I have shadows, most women do too, all around the Howdy Doody line. The Howdy Doody line is from here to here. Also, usually we have ruddiness right underneath our nose. Just put that right in there. And then pat it in. Everybody's shadows are approximately the same place, but they move a little bit, so that's why you have to look and see where your particular ones are. Another great place for shadow is the side, this is a trick, the side of the, where in the corner of the eye, next to the side of the nose. As our skin thins, the nose bone shows through the nose and gets very dark, which makes your eyes look closer together. You want to take this transparent concealer and put it exactly on the shadow. And put on a little bit. And also you're very thin right here at the corner of the eye, going out. not to bring it down. Try to bring it going up. And then pat that in. This, I'm very, very, very proud of this. It's really magic stuff. And there's another big trick I do with this, which will straighten out your nose. That's a good one, straightening out your nose. I like to do it with my finger because for some reason I have more control with my finger than a brush. But, you know, you might like your brush. You look straight into the mirror. You put your finger right in the middle of your nose and you bring it straight down. Not very long. I mean, not all the way down to the end of your nose. I put this down too far. See? And then you pat it in. You don't want to leave a streak on your nose. You just want to make a little faint light down the middle of your nose. And if your nose is like got an indentation on one side and it goes in a zigzag, you make the light straight down. Step 4, contouring shadow, yellow brush. It's pure magic for refining our facial contours, and we're enhancing our cheekbones, cleaning up the jawline, and reducing double chins, and receding the hairline. Well, it doesn't recede the hairline, it's for receding hairlines, which we've all pretty much got around my age. Okay, so it's the yellow brush on the yellow pan. You take it and you dab it a few times across, and always blow excess powder off that's on the case. And like this, or up, and then sideways along the side, dab again, put it on this side. Down, I've got a little white spot there so I cover it. See? And some more. Do it again, blow off the excess powder. And do it right where you feel the hollow of where your bone starts to go down, the cheekbones. Just don't do with sharp angle. You don't want any sharp angles. Right in there. For wardles, which I think is like a little bit of fat that hangs here. You press your brush like this and just draw a line across the place where the little fat is. Like that. Maybe you can see this. Like that. And then you feather it. Feathering means turning it the other way, pressed. And then just go in there a little bit. Now, receding hairline. All you do is you flatten it a little bit and you squash it. And you just go right around the forehead at the end here, all the way around. And that creates a shadow. So we start looking like we have our old hairlines back. Just bring it all the way around your face. Step 5, blush. Green on the green pan. This is a great color. It's a magic blush with much less pigment than normal. And it makes you look like you're blushing. So I've got to do this without sort of looking. But you know, you smile. And on the top, you've got to do it so it doesn't show. I've got to use my mirror a little bit. So you're not into the eye area. And you don't go too low. You do a little tad under the chin. Up here in the eye crease. And if you're particularly pale, you can do a little swipe across the forehead. A little more on one side than the other side. This is the Pucci nose brush. If you don't have one, get one as close as you can to this. What I call a pooch is we often get fatty deposits right in here. Some will be like, it'll look like a big pooch. It's right in here This is an amazing shade. It'll give you a quick eye lift if you learn to use it right, which isn't that hard. So, you dip it, the blue brush in the blue pan, do only the tip, not the sides of the brush. You do the tip, blow off excess, and then put it directly on the pooch. See? Directly on the pooch. Also use this right along the eye crease to back up. If your bone is very prominent over the eye, if you use shadow on it, it will recede it. Don't forget, shadow recedes, light brings forward. So you just go stroke carefully and it recedes a little bit. But it's very, very, very light, very little pigment. So it doesn't look like the usual harsh eyeshadows. Right through there. Okay, now, nose. Dab on the end, and then just across the bottom of the nose to shorten the nose, across the bottom of the nose to shorten it, you go, whoop. Oh, I gotta use the mirror. Whoop, whoop. Whoop. Okay. That shortens it. And then to make it straight, you come right down both sides. See, I've got a bump that goes out here. I'm going to cover this bump with the shadow. Don't forget, shadow takes away. So I'm going to cover this, see this bump that comes right out there? I'm going to go. This is really tricky to do without a mirror, boy. Now, I have a sort of ball at the end of my nose, and you can get rid of that by going. This is very, very little pigment in here. It's a really, really light color. Looks like shadow. So that's why you can put this on without it looking like you've got a dirty nose, which is not a good look. Okay. I'll do a little bit more right in there. Maybe y'all can see that. And a little bit more right in here. You know, you do it very light for day, and then you do it a little stronger for night around the eyes. Aqua, eyebrows. Okay, aqua brush, an aqua pan. I wet it a little bit because I need to make it darker for my eyebrows. But the other thing is, if you're brunette and you have very dark eyebrows, then you can use a little bit of the purple, a little bit of but use it dry. And you can actually use any brown here if you use it on the side of the pan. But I'd try aqua first, because that's made for eyebrows. Okay, and the thing we've got to remember is as we get older, we fade, and there are coloring fades, not just the face coloring, but the hair coloring. So you want to sort of fill in the gaps. We don't want harsh, hard, mean, ugly eyebrows. Not a good look, girls. And the other thing is we start going bald on our eyebrows, so we need to bring our eyebrows out. It'll look like eyebrows. I'm overly proud of this. Okay, and then you do the other one. And fill in the gaps. I like particularly to go under the arch, and wherever you've got a hole in your regular eyebrows. The whole point is we don't want to look like we're wearing makeup. That's why this is good for, it's totally necessary for women our age, very good for men, and great for young girls if they don't want to look like they're wearing makeup. That's the best part about it, it's invisible makeup. Something I've had quite a lot of experience with. Very visible makeup. Okay. Step 8, wet dry eyeliner, purple. You can use it for eyeliner, shadow, or darker eyebrows if you've got black or brunette hair. It's the perfect color to emphasize and dramatize eyes. Use the purple brush or something similar to this. It's an extraordinarily fine brush made of sable, and it's got very few hairs in here because you can draw the closest little fine line right next to your eyelashes, and it won't really look like a line. It'll just make your eyelashes look thicker and longer. Moisten the tip of your purple brush, put it in your pan, and draw a fine little light line right next to the lashes, as close down to the lashes as you can get. And just barely extend it out. You just want to really make your eyelashes look thicker and longer, and to emphasize the eyes. And I like, personally, to draw the line from about the mid-pupil, middle of the pupil, not on the far end of the pupil, but the middle of the pupil, out. It's always a little more natural on me. For evening, if you want, you can make it slightly thicker, a little longer, stronger line. Step 9, lip tint. This is it. This is what they call the martini shot. Yes. This is a big trick to make your lips look wonderful. I love to use it sometimes instead of lipstick. You use a dry forefinger, make a circular motion in your blush pan, the green pan, blush. You use the finger and you tip into your lip balm, which has already been soaking into your lips. You open your mouth slightly and very gently press it into, very lightly, pat it into your lip. Pat it into your lip. And it'll look like your lip, not like lipstick. Then use another finger, it's clean, make sure you use a clean finger. You don't put the glossed finger back into the pan, because you'll ruin the pan. Use a new clean finger and do the upper lip. Open your mouth a little, put it to the inside first. That's where the deepest color should be, inside. If you look at a child's mouth, the deepest part of her color is the inside of her mouth, or his. This is good for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's powder so it doesn't get in the lines of your mouth. It looks the same color as your cheeks and yourself, so it doesn't look like lipstick. But if you've got very thin upper lip, you might want lipstick for your lips. Depends on how big your lips are, or what you're wearing and what you're doing. That's it. Soft, tiny pats. Pat. Don't stroke or smear. Don't go scrabbling all along like you're doing floors. You're doing your lips. And if it's a little too pale for you, then use clean finger. Use a little bit more gloss. And watch this when I put a little bit more of the balm or the gloss. If you put that on, it makes it look a little deeper. But often I don't. Experiment, play around, have fun with this. Believe in your own judgment. What you think looks good probably does look good. Also listen to compliments from your friends, because they're going to be giving them to you. So that's it. You'll see how easy it is to get used to it, and it gets easier and easier. And you're going to be getting out the doors in minutes, looking great and feeling great. When I went back to modeling at 46, I had to come up with this. And good stuff changed my life. I hope it changes yours.